Hello, folks. It's me again, the ROB, coming at you with the latest edition of Rob's Rockin' Wrestling. Yes, we are here. It is a warm Monday, June the 19th, 2017, and last night WWE presented Money in the Bank. Yes, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view was a SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view, folks, and it is all wrapped up, all said and done, and there is quite a bit to touch on. So this will be strictly a review of the show from last night. So again, if you're listening to this recording right now, feel free to take this, share it around the good old interweb. Share it on your Facebook, share it on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at VaporRob. And the more you subscribe to my channel and everything like that, really helps me out, folks. So appreciate everything everybody does for me. So that's been absolutely wonderful. So let's get on to the night that was Money in the Bank. So yes, the night started off pre-show. I'm not going to go into it much. I honestly did not get to watch the actual show until much later in the evening. So therefore, I skipped the pre-show. I really do try to do my best to watch the pre-show all the time and give it a legit opportunity. But last night, just did not have the time or the energy to put into it. So unfortunately, I was unable to watch the opening match. So I'm just going based on what I have heard from other people. And so heard the match was not anything groundbreaking, so it's not like I missed out on a whole lot. It saw the Hype Brothers, the return of Zack Ryder and his tag team partner Mojo Rawley taking on the Colognes. And yes, match apparently not that great. Hype Brothers picking up the win. Can't imagine that we're going to see a whole lot of the Hype Brothers sticking together past this. Feel like there is a breakup on the horizon, that Zack Ryder would benefit from a heel turn, and that both these guys would definitely benefit from singles runs in particular, because there's just not enough room for more tag teams at the moment on SmackDown when they aren't even currently using all of the tag teams that they have. So yes, definitely a breakup in the works. I can imagine maybe even as early as this Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. So let's go on to the actual event. The night starting off with the history-making women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The very first time that the women taking part in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So this match would see Charlotte versus Becky versus Tamina versus Carmella versus Natalia. WWE has spent a lot of time going about promoting this particular matchup, almost to the point where this was the most highlighted match of the entire event. This is the one they seem to focus the most on. So again, it comes out first. Obviously, to hype the night up, you're going to need to do something big. So they have the women come out there first. So yes, good match, solid match. Can't take anything away from the women involved. They did everything they can to make this a very rewarding encounter. Definitely a lot of use of the environment, a lot of use of the actual ladders themselves. Nothing to note in terms of like an incredibly big high spot for many of them. Like, we didn't see any crazy moves off the top of the ladder or anything, which, to that, I mean, it's almost a good thing in a sense, because you know what, these women aren't going to be completely battered and broken afterwards. They're not going to go into SmackDown this Tuesday barely able to walk. Not taking away from what they did and saying that none of it, took a toll on them, but I just feel like, it was played safe in a sense to keep everybody protected, which is definitely good, because, the women's division right now, I don't think can handle a knock against them. I don't think they can deal with an injury at the moment. So yeah, that being said, the finish is what is causing the most controversy at the current moment. The match had Becky Lynch was going for the actual contract when James Ellsworth tipped her off the ladder. Ellsworth then decided to climb the ladder himself, pull down the briefcase, and toss it down to Carmella. The referees didn't seem like they knew what to do about it. They didn't know whether to call the win, whether they should restart the match. So it ends in a controversial fashion. I think from what I see, most people are really upset to the fact that a guy is the one that climbed the ladder. And after all this talk about, the women do it first, all this kind of stuff, let's not get into that big long debate, folks. I think what happened here is the WWE took an opportunity to cause a lot of heat, and they have done so in allowing James Ellsworth to make that finish. I mean, it puts a ton of heat on Ellsworth and Carmella and everything like that, and I think it is what's best. I mean, the Money in the Bank ladder match is usually used to create a new star. Somebody new comes out of the Money in the Bank a lot of the time and stuff like that to see where they can go with it. And I think for Carmella to pick up the win, you could have had her go in and try to do it her way, win it clean. But something tells me that that wouldn't have been as well talked about, kind of thing. With Ellsworth doing it, Ellsworth makes for a perfect heel manager slash valet. I think valets and managers are very underappreciated and not understood as much in the landscape currently, and I think that that's going to change. That these are starting to become a more commonplace thing again in wrestling, and I think it is wonderful. I think it was a good way to end that particular match because it made for a large talking point that's going to remain a talking point, and it also for storyline continuity. We're going to go into Tuesday, and now we've got Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan both saying that this night is going to be addressed. This particular match is going to be addressed on SmackDown Live this Tuesday. So a reason for us to tune in come Tuesday night to see what they're talking about. What are they going to do? Are they going to have Carmella put the briefcase on the line in a matchup? Are they going to make it a little different? Will it be a ladder match? Will it be a fatal five-way? Will they add Lana into the mix for all we know? But we'll find out on Tuesday night. Definitely worth tuning in to see where they go from there. Up next, we have the Usos defending their SmackDown Live WWE Tag Team Championships against the New Day. Yes, the New Day back in the ring and on SmackDown Live. And yes, the Usos getting their opportunity to take on the longest reigning WWE World Tag Team Champions, baby. What a match. The match itself, very good from start to finish. In my predictions, I actually noted that I thought that the Usos were going to retain the titles, but they were going to cheat to take the win. A lot of people feel like they were cheated out of a strong finish in this particular match. The match itself, extremely good. At times, I swore, I was like, oh my god, the New Day's got it. Like, holy crap, I'm completely wrong. And the New Day is picking up the win here. And yet, then all of a sudden, instead of having these constant false finish kickouts and stuff, the best part about a tag team matchup is having a partner that can help you out of those situations. So when Jimmy and Jay are, breaking up the pins or pulling each other outside of the ring, that is perfect, especially for a heel tag team to be able to do that. And it doesn't create these constant false finishes that we see all too often in the landscape of professional wrestling these days. So, overall great match. Jimmy and Jay get themselves counted out intentionally in the end. So they keep their titles. The New Day gets the matchup, and it gives that dynamic of, okay, well, the New Day, they were that close. They had the number of the Usos, so there's this intrigue to the storyline now. Now they can carry it out, because this storyline has not been fleshed out all that well just yet, because this is still in its infancy. So these false finishes, false finishes, I should be saying, these countouts, these DQs, these finishes that people are so upset about on pay-per-views, I know it seems like a cheap way out, but it's a way to keep a storyline evolving without, pissing off the vast majority. Because, had the New Day taking the titles last night, again, you could have just been like, oh, they just throw it on the New Day because the New Day's there. Or they just playing hot potato with the tag titles, because it seems like every time somebody gets into a little bit of a feud with somebody, that the titles are changing hands. So, all in all, I think it was a great way to flesh this one out, and a great opportunity for them to carry this on for a little while before, inevitably, I'm pretty sure that we will see the New Day with the tag titles at some point or another. Next up, we had a match pitting Lana making her SmackDown Live in-ring debut against Naomi for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. And all eyes on Lana to see what she could do inside of a ring. Never before have we had a chance to really get to know Lana as an in-ring performer. So this was definitely her opportunity to shine, and shine she did. Definitely can't take anything away from Lana and what she was able to accomplish inside the ring this evening, or last night anyway. Naomi, of course, doing everything she can to hold this match together as well too. So and Naomi's experience really came into play when taking on somebody who's very new, very fresh inside of a WWE ring herself. But again, taking nothing away from Lana, she's very vocal, very smooth. I don't want to say smooth. I want to say that, for somebody as new as she is when it comes to her in ring work, she was prepared. She looked prepared for this particular matchup. And she came out a winner in my eyes because, she did not lose this match quickly. It was not a pushover situation. It made it look like she is a legitimate threat to the top of the SmackDown Women's division right now. So definitely we're going to see more fleshed out, more happen with Lana's storyline and stuff like that. Again, as I alluded to earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if Lana ends up with an opportunity to take that briefcase now too. There's that very, very strong possibility that they're going to address this situation. And after the performance that Lana put in, I wouldn't doubt for a second that they would say she has now proved herself and give her an opportunity. Anyways, match ended with Naomi picking up a tap out win, so submission win for Naomi. Carmella had come out, created a bit of a distraction at one point, teasing the idea that she was going to cash in the Money in the Bank, but then decided against it. So kind of her trolling us a little bit. I think it's a little bit more WWE trolling us a bit. I think the thing was that most of us had predicted Carmella was going to pick up the Money in the Bank briefcase that night, and then I think a lot of us also thought that there was a strong possibility she was going to cash in and become your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Instead, they chose to troll us a bit, have her come out, tease it like as if, we're right. Nah, screw it, we're wrong. So that's the way that ended up going. Up next, we had the debut of Mike and Maria Kanellis. So Maria Kanellis, for those who are not aware, previously worked for WWE, and then more recently she has been making quite a name for herself out on the indie scene with her husband Mike Bennett. So when they debuted last night, they debuted as if he had taken her name when they got married, so an interesting take on that, especially with the whole women's movement and revolution going on within the landscape of WWE and professional wrestling in general. So Mike and Maria Kanellis arrive, and they're going to teach the WWE about love. I guess. I don't know what to think of this just yet, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I'm glad to see them. I'm nothing against Mike and Maria at all. I'm glad they're there. Not sure about their whole gimmick just yet. We'll see where it goes. Got to give it time. Got to see where it goes. But last night, I got this feeling like Mike and Maria are SmackDown Live's new Miz and Maurice. And I hate to see people that are, used in that same fashion. It's like, oh, well, Miz and Maurice worked so well, and then we sent them over to Raw, so now we got to find replacements for them. So here they are. They're here, I guess, but we'll see where it goes. Again, I gotta give it time. We'll see what happens with them, what the plan that WWE has for them. A lot of great potential with the actual two performers themselves. Whether or not this gimmick is what's going to do it for them is yet to be seen. So, we'll see as it unfolds. I'm sure we will find out more this Tuesday on SmackDown Live, of course. Up next, we have the WWE Championship. Jinder Mahal defending against Randy Orton, and everything was done to make this look like Randy's night. Randy had his father, Ric Flair. He's got a slew of other legends, including Sergeant Slaughter, and Sorry, I'm forgetting some of the names at the moment. I didn't jot them down. I know that Kurt Hennig and his father was there as well. I believe the Axeman Larry Hennig, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, a lot of great WWE legends and pro wrestling legends in general. They're at ringside to watch Randy Orton take on the modern day Maharaja. This is in St. Louis. It's Randy's hometown. Again, everything seems to be in Randy's favor. I gotta say, compared to their match that they had before, I think that the two of them gave us a stronger overall match. Not that their first match was bad or anything like that. I just feel like the storytelling and the movement, everything about this match was much, much stronger than what the first time around was. The first time around seemed more about, getting, I don't know, getting that controversial win in there for Jinder to create the headlines. And this time around, it was more about, getting a strong match out of the two guys, which they did get. The ending, of course, kind of fell a little bit flat for me just because it seemed very similar to the ending of their previous encounter, with Randy attacking the Singh brothers on the outside, flipping them onto the announce tables, and then going in to be beat by Jinder Mahal. I wasn't against Jinder winning at all. In fact, I knew Jinder was going to carry his title out of there. I had predicted Randy was going to win by DQ or something like that. It's kind of partially hoping to see Rusev this evening. I kind of wanted to see Rusev come out and attack Jinder and start a little program with Jinder Mahal possibly, now that Rusev has been medically cleared to return to in-ring action. But nonetheless, great match. Definitely strong in what it was. Liked the spot with Jinder Mahal mocking Ric Flair at ringside by putting the figure four leg lock on Randy and everything. So a lot of great points here. Jinder Mahal again coming out as the champion and looking strong. Next, we had, a match, an impromptu match that started with a segment of Fashion Vice, which is, the new take on the Fashion Files thing with Breezango. Again, Breezango has been one of the most entertaining parts of SmackDown Live for me recently. I have really enjoyed the pairing of these two and what they've been able to do. And there was this whole meet us in the ring, we're the guys who attacked you sort of thing. And it's like, okay, where's this going? On a pay-per-view, you think there's a good opportunity that this might actually go somewhere interesting or do something interesting, and yet we get the Ascension, one of the worst booked teams in the history of WWE. The Ascension coming out to once again take a loss to Breezango. Breezango looking strong again, which is great, but anybody who followed the Ascension back in their NXT days has to realize the fall from grace these two have taken since coming to the main roster, and them not getting the opportunities they deserve, or not being treated the way they deserve. They could be a strong looking dominant team, and yet they've been booked like a couple of goofs. That just really has not worked out well for the Ascension. This segment, this match in particular, I could have done without. Not that I wanted to do without Breezango. The Fashion Vice thing works. It's funny. It was entertaining. But once it got down to the match itself, it's like, okay, done, don't care, been there, done that. Moving on. So the main event of the night, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, sees Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Baron Corbin. Yes, these 6 men about to lock up to try to become Mr. Money in the Bank, and everybody's in the ring except for Baron Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura. And Shinsuke's music hits, he starts coming out doing his thing, and Baron Corbin attacks. And you know what? That was a nice touch, you guys. I feel like it was a strong way to go because it makes Baron Corbin look like the jerk they presented him as. This guy who doesn't care about anybody else. He's out for himself, and he will do whatever it takes to get to where he needs to go. And it's proven here. He takes Shinsuke out before the match starts. It becomes a 5-man ladder match at this point, and goddamn, some of the spots in this match, like just times where I was like thinking these guys are absolutely murdering each other. Kevin Owens taking spot after spot after spot, like he was pretty much used for all, sort of, well, and I shouldn't say for all, but for many of the really big spots in this match. Kevin Owens took an absolute beating. I hope the guy is okay today, but he's tough as nails, and I'm pretty sure that Kevin Owens is just going to bounce right back from all of it. Eventually, at one point, Shinsuke Nakamura makes his way back into the match. He starts cleaning house. We think, oh, it's guaranteed Shinsuke is taking that Money in the Bank briefcase. When all of a sudden, we get treated to Baron Corbin coming back in, climbing that ladder, and taking the briefcase. So Baron Corbin becomes your new Mr. Money in the Bank. So quite an interesting finish. Definitely have no problem with it. And the match itself, what a use of the Money in the Bank situation itself. So I really, really enjoyed the match. I thought it was a great finish to a decent pay-per-view. I'm not going to say it was an amazing pay-per-view. It was good. I enjoyed it. I had fun. It ended strong. That was the whole point. With wrestling, I find too often, early matches are always outdoing, your main events all the time. It's like, oh, I remember that match that started the night. I remember the match halfway through the night. But then it comes to the main event, people are like, yeah, it was okay. But for once, this one kind of it escalated. Yeah, okay, the women's match was a strong start. I can't deny that, but they built and built and built, and by the end of the night, you were definitely grasped. The crowd was definitely into it. It wasn't like this was a dead time or anything. So definitely good way of presenting the entire night. Not my favorite pay-per-view from SmackDown, from Raw, or both even. So quite a bit to work on, but some storyline continuity started, some good things happening, so definitely worth tuning into SmackDown Live on Tuesday to find out where it goes. So what do you think of Money in the Bank? Let me know. If you're on YouTube, let me know in the comments below. If you're on Twitter, make sure to retweet me and message me on Twitter at VaporRob. Once again, it's been wonderful being able to come out here and talk with you guys. If there's anything you'd like to see me talk about for future episodes, or anything you'd like me to review, anything that I should be touching on, doesn't have to even be WWE related, you guys. I am willing to sit down and talk about other wrestling organizations as well too. So if you want to hear something about something from New Japan, Ring of Honor, anything like that, or even something a little bit more indie, you got something, send it my way. Send me some videos that you have from other organizations. I really love the opportunity to sit down and watch all things wrestling. So with that being said, I am going to leave it at that today, and hope to hear from all of you soon. Enjoy this and many episodes yet to come. Have a good one.